Will the House come to order? Mr. Clerk?
Aloha and good afternoon. Today's invocation will be delivered by Representative Nadine K. Nakamura. Will the members who wish to participate please rise?
Please sit. Today, I'd like to share something about myself with you. My maternal grandmother came to Hawaii, a grandfather came to Hawaii from Japan in the early 1900s. His family sent him here to run Iida store, which used to be right down the street on Beretania and Nuuanu. A decade later, my grandmother came over from Japan as a picture bride. When my grandfather died unexpectedly at a young age, he left my grandmother with 5 children, including my mom, who was 6 years old. My grandmother left 4 of her children in Honolulu and moved to the island of Lanai to do missionary work for the Tendikyo Church. She left my mom and her 3 siblings, who grew up in the Tendikyo Church in Pauoa, right up the street, which was condemned when Pali Highway was built. My paternal grandfather was also a Tendikyo minister in Fukuoka, Japan. So I grew up in the Tendikyo faith. So things got a little complicated when I moved to Kauai over 30 years ago. You see, my husband was a 3rd-generation Episcopalian. I was encouraged by my Tendikyo minister at the time to learn about Christianity. My reverend told me that a good way to understand my husband was to learn about the religion that shaped his beliefs and his values. So I now consider myself dual religious, and I have raised my 2 children in both Eastern and Western religions, believing in one God with 2 different messengers. So let's pray. Thank you, God the Parent, for bringing us together from all across this beautiful state. Thank you for the blessings of good health, happiness, families, colleagues, and staff. Let us treat each other as brothers and sisters. Please make us mindful of the needs of others. Bless our gifts to our youth and us to your service. Amen. And Tendi Ono Mikoto. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Nakamura. Item 1, Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Ayu, Mr. Alcos, Ms. Amato, Ms. Bellotti, Mr. Chun, Ms. Cochran, Mr. Evslin, Mr. Ganadin, Mr. Garcia, Mr. Garrett, Mr. Gates, Mr. Hashem, Mr. Hashimoto, Mr. Holt, Ms. Hussey Burdick, Ms. Ichiyama, Ms. Kahaloa, Ms. Capella, Mr. Keela, Ms. Kitagawa, Mr. Kobayashi, Mr. Kong, Ms. Lachika, Ms. Lamosao, Ms. Lowen, Ms. Martin, Ms. Martinez, Mr. Matayoshi, Ms. Matsumoto, Mr. Mizuno, Ms. Morikawa, Ms. Nakamura, Mr. Nakashima, Mr. Nishimoto, Mr. Onishi, Ms. Peruso,
Excuse.
Mr. Pirik, Ms. Poepoe, Mr. Quinlan, Mr. Saiki, Mr. Sayama, Ms. Souza, Mr. Takayama, Ms. Takenouchi, Mr. Tam, Mr. Tarnas, Mr. Todd, Mr. Ward, Mr. Woodson, Mr. Yamashita, Mr. Speaker.
Present.
Mr. Speaker, 50 members are present, 1 is excused.
Thank you. Item 2, reading of the journal. Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, may this matter be deferred?
So ordered. Item 3, Mr. Clerk, are there any messages from the governor?
Mr. Speaker, there are none.
Item 4, Mr. Clerk, are there any Senate communications?
Mr. Speaker, there are none.
Members, are there any introductions? Representative Chun.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, today I have the pleasure to introduce volunteers from across our state from the American Cancer Society Cancer Action Network, up there in the blue shirts. Members, cancer remains the second leading cause of death in our state, and these advocates are here to talk about ways we can move forward to lessen the burden of cancer and to also increase access to care for cancer patients. Mahalo for all you do, and welcome to your House of Representatives. Please rise to be recognized. And Speaker, request to insert their names into the journal.
So ordered.
Thank you.
Representative Matsumoto.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's my honor to recognize I have another high school intern here today from Mililani High School, Vincent Wilson, if you can please stand up. He's a sophomore at Mililani. His hobbies include singing, piano, composing, theater, and politics. I just got to watch him in the choral performance that they had at Mililani, and they did a wonderful job. And if we can just give him a big round of applause and welcome him to his House of Representatives. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative La Chica.
Hello, Speaker. In the gallery, members are a few Mililani residents that I recognize. First is Ryan Ozawa, who's here in support of the Cancer Action Network, Mr. Dean Hazama, the Deputy Director for DCCA, and joining him is Tai Nohara, Administrator for the Business Recognition. If you may please stand and be recognized, and welcome to your House of Representatives.
Representative Woodson.
Speaker, thank you so much. In the gallery today, we have two of my former staffers, Maria Rolajay and Jenna Dela Cruz. If you could please stand. Aloha, ladies. Welcome. Good to see you. And we also have Angelique Ramos, who's currently in my office now. Please stand and be recognized. And may their names be entered into the journal, Speaker.
So ordered.
Thank you.
Representative Nakamura.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sitting in the audience today is my Chief of Staff, Ben Viernes, who's been with me for 6 years. Please stand. My legislative aide, Angela Tumaneng, and Sari Curtis, my committee clerk. Thank you for being here.
Representative Sayama.
Thank you, Speaker. In the gallery today, we have from DCCA, Director Nadine Ando and Deputy Director Dean Hazama. Please stand up. Welcome to your House of Representatives.
Members, are there any further introductions? With no further introductions, let's move on to item 5. Floor presentations. Mr. Clerk, are there any floor presentations?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, we have one floor presentation today. House Resolution Number 216, congratulating the 2023 United States Senate Youth Program delegates, Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society International Co-President, and 2023 Life Smarts Consumer Education Competition second place recipients. This resolution is offered by Representative Woodson.
Representative Woodson.
Thank you, Speaker. I move to adopt the resolution.
Representative Nishimoto.
I second the motion.
It has been moved and seconded that the resolution be adopted. Any discussion, Representative Nishimoto?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On our 4th day of Education Week, I ask that the House of Representatives please join me in recognizing the great accomplishments and hard work of our student honorees. They have each taken initiative through various leadership roles, demonstrated exemplary commitment to their academic pursuits, and have incorporated a spirit of public service in the many activities they engage in. Today, we acknowledge the 2023 United States Senate Youth Program Hawaii delegates, the Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society International Co-President, and the 2023 Life Smarts Consumer Education Competition winners. The United States Senate Youth Program provides outstanding high school students interested in careers in public service with a detailed understanding of the inner workings of the U.S. Senate and the federal government. All students selected have held elected or appointed positions in their schools or communities and show aptitude in government, history, and politics. The Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society was established in 1918 and is internationally recognized for providing scholarship and leadership opportunities to its more than 3.8 million members in the United States and 11 nations, with a presence in nearly 1,300 campuses. The Life Sparks program is a free national education program with teachers that teaches students the critical life skills needed to succeed in the modern global marketplace. The 2023 competition tested students on their knowledge of personal finance, health, consumer rights, and responsibilities, health and safety, technology, and the environment. The competition is sponsored by Hawaii's DCCA in partnership with the Hawaii Credit Union League. Moving to our honorees, I'm pleased to honor one of the 2023 United States Senate Youth Programs delegates, Mr. Daniel Pruder. Daniel is a senior at Punahou School and the leader of the Punahou Model UN and Civic Engagement Club. He is an active member of the Punahou Theater Program and has served on the Honolulu Youth Commission representing District 5 as the vice chair and currently as the chair. Mr. Pruder has interned with the office of former Lieutenant Governor Josh Green, the Honolulu City Council member Calvin Say. He volunteered with the first legislative committee of Vote 16 High, which seeks to lower the statewide voting age to 16. In recognition of his admirable public service contributions, Mr. Pruder was named an outstanding advocate for the children and youth during the 2022 Hawaii Children and Youth Day celebration and received the Mayor's Award of Recognition for his appointment to the Honolulu Youth Commission. Please join me in congratulating Daniel Pruder. And I yield my time to Representative Perrick.
Representative Perrick?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It is my pleasure to congratulate Maverick Yashuda, also a 2023 United States Senate Youth Program delegate, a senior at Waipahu High School. Maverick is an exceptional academic who will be receiving an associate's degree in liberal arts upon graduating from high school. He is a member of the student government, Honor Society, and Ivy League Club, and serves as the vice president of the school's Academy of Natural Resources. Beyond the classroom, Maverick is the student member of the Hawaii State Board of Education, representing 168,000 public school students throughout the state. In addition to his remarkable service efforts, he received the Outstanding Advocate for Children and Youth Award during the 2022 Hawaii Children and Youth Day celebration. Maverick's participation in the United States Senate Youth Program is a testament to his outstanding commitment to his academic and extracurricular pursuits and admirable service contributions. I yield my time to my colleague from Eva Beach.
Representative Alcos?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm proud to honor Kasaya Christy Asciano Acheta as a newly elected Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society International co-president, a duly enrolled student at Waipahu High School and a University of Hawaii throughout the early college program. Ms. Acheta had received an associate's in arts degree with a certificate in business management from Lyric Community College. Upon graduation, serving in several leadership roles, Kasaya Acheta is a representative of the State Hawaii Student Council and a public relation officer for a Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps. Ms. Acheta was also appointed by the mayor to the Honolulu Youth Commission to serve as its secretary while advising the mayor and the council city on issues concerning Honolulu youth. Ms. Acheta has been a proud member of Waipahu Phi Theta Kappa Beta Chi Omega chapter, served as the 2021 and 2022 Phi Theta Kappa Pacific Region President in her current role as the International Co-President of the Phi Theta Kappa Honor Roll Society. She is the first duly enrolled student and the youngest person ever served in the International Officer. Kasaya Achara historically leadership appointments is a testament to her outstanding commitment to her academic and extracurricular pursuits. Welcome. Give her a round of applause, guys. I yield my time to a representative of Makiki.
Representative Bellotti.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It is my honor to recognize the 2023 LifeSmarts Consumer Education Competition winners from Marino School. After dedicating numerous hours of preparation, Marino High School's team competed in the statewide final and emerged victorious, securing first place in the competition. Please stand to be recognized. Marino High School's LifeSmarts team is represented on the floor by Team Captain Chris Ho and in the gallery by teammates Adam Nelson, Maddie Augustin, Benson Leung, Caitlin McLeod, Asa Han, and Coach Kit Yuang. Team members, please stand to be recognized and be congratulated by your House of Representatives. Thank you. You may be seated. Coming in second and fourth place at the LifeSmarts Consumer Education Competition was Waipahu High School's 2 LifeSmarts team who could not join us today. However, Kalani High School's team took third place and joins us today in the gallery. Will the team members please stand to be recognized by your House of Representatives? This Kalani team is composed of Team Captain Brandon Tran, members Kyla Iglesia, Andy Chen, Michelle He, Mason Wong, and Coach Micah Zane. Congratulations. You may be seated. I would like to also honor the 2022 United States Senate Youth Program delegates, Angel Himoya and Joshua Ching. Mr. Himoya and Mr. Ching are now students at UC Berkeley and Yale University, respectively, and unfortunately were unable to attend today. On behalf of the House of Representatives, I would like to thank the guests in the gallery who have joined us to recognize these student awardees. Welcome to your House of Representatives. Mr. Speaker, I request that their names be inserted into the journal.
So ordered. Members, we're going to do a voice vote. All those in favor say aye. The motion is carried. Representative Woodson, please proceed with the certificates and lay presentation. The chair will call a recess to allow the members of the House to meet and congratulate the honorees. Recess. Will the House come to order? Item 6, reports of standing committees. Representative Nakamura.
Mr. Speaker, I move to adopt Standing Committee Reports numbers 1225 through 1265 as listed on pages 2 through 12, and that the accompanying Senate bills, as may be amended, pass second reading and be referred to their designated committees.
Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
Any discussion on SANCOM Report 1225, 1226, 1227? Representative Garcia.
No vote.
So ordered. Moving to 1228. Next page, 1229. Representative Garcia.
With reservations.
So ordered. Representative Capella.
Mr. Speaker, at the appropriate time, can we please go back to 1228?
Let's finish 1229 and let's go back to 1228. Members, going back to 1228. Representative Capella.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. No vote.
So ordered. Moving to 1230, 1231, 1232. Next page, 1233, 1234. Representative Garcia.
No vote.
So ordered. Moving to 1235. Representative Capella.
No vote.
So ordered. Representative Hasibardik.
Reservations.
So ordered. Moving to 1236. Next page, 1237. Moving back to 1236. Representative Hasibardik.
Reservations.
So ordered. Next page, 1237. 1238. 1239. 1239. Representative Garcia.
Reservations.
So ordered. Moving to 1240. Representative Capella.
Mr. Speaker, no vote.
So ordered. Representative Ward.
Mr. Speaker, strong support. Brief comment.
Proceed.
Mr. Speaker, those who have been following the news of Atlanta, Georgia, they are rioting over a similar campus for training the police and training firefighters. We have a crime problem in the state of Hawaii as well as in the nation, and this is going to be a way, you know, we want to talk about they're not trained well enough. Well, here's a building and academy that will do that, and I think it's for the better. For those who have doubts about it, I think that they should have a second look at it. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Ganadin.
No vote.
So ordered. Next page, 1241. Representative Garcia.
With reservations, brief comment.
Proceed.
I support the intent, but the fines are just way too steep. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving to 1242. 1243. Representative Capella.
No vote, please.
So ordered. Representative Hasibardik.
Reservations.
So ordered. Let's move on to the next page. 1244. 1245. 1246. 1247. Next page. 1248. 1249. 1250. 1251. Next page. 1252. 1253. 1254. 1255. Next page. 1256. Representative Garcia.
No vote.
So ordered. Representative Matsumoto.
Reservations.
So ordered. Representative Pierrick.
No, please.
So ordered. Representative Ward.
No vote. Brief comment.
Proceed.
Mr. Speaker, this gives the Kupuna retirement system a heavy blow, if you will. Many of the Kupuna have saved and tried to get a retirement other than the meek Social Security. They've bought a house and they rent it out. And this says, look, if you live in a house that you own and then you get a rental, we're not going to give you the tax deduction. I think this is a blow to them, and I think it's going to be a difficult thing for the Kupuna to stomach. We promised in this session that we're going to lower the cost of living, well, this will end up raising the cost of living, particularly if we realize that 60% of all the people are renters in the state of Hawaii, and this obviously will be something that probably will increase their rent. For those reasons, Mr. Speaker, a no vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Valcos?
No vote.
So ordered.
Could you adopt the words of Hawaii Kai?
So ordered.
Thank you.
Move into 1257, 1258. Representative Garcia?
With reservations.
So ordered. Moving to 1259. Next page. 1260, 1261. Representative Perrick?
No, please.
So ordered. Proceed.
When I went door to door throughout Eva Beach and Maipahu, many of my constituents asked me to do what I can to reduce the cost of electricity. This bill would increase the cost of electricity, so for those reasons, I vote no.
Representative Capella?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. No vote.
So ordered. Representative Garcia?
Same request.
So ordered. Representative Ward?
Speaker, no vote. Brief comment.
Proceed.
Mr. Speaker, in keeping with what I just noted earlier about we made a promise to lower the cost of living, this clearly is going to raise the cost of living because it's going to cause the interconnection prices to be raised because, and for some reason, HECO and the interconnection contract does not resolve this when they're actually doing the contract, the bidding, RFPs, et cetera. I'm not sure why this should come to us to tell them to do this. It's when HECO gets a subcontractor to put stuff into the grid, that interconnection cost should have been part of that contract. So I think this is rather ridiculous, and now when it's the price of electricity that's already through the roof, I think this is going to make it worse. Thank you.
Representative Tam?
With reservation.
So ordered. Representative Valcos?
With reservations.
So ordered. Let's move on to 1262. Next page, 1263, 1264, 1265. Members, I'll be calling a voice vote. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. The motion is carried. Representative Nakamura.
Mr. Speaker, I move to adopt Standing Committee Reports number 1266 as listed on page 12, and that the accompanying Senate bill pass second reading and be placed on the calendar for third reading.
Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
Any discussion on SANCOM Report 1266? Representative Matsumoto.
No vote.
So ordered.
And permission to insert comments into the journal.
So ordered. Representative Quinlan.
With reservations, Mr. Speaker.
So ordered. Proceed.
Mr. Speaker, this is a very difficult vote for me. I am a Christian, and my religion has a lot of things to say about measures like this. But, Mr. Speaker, I believe so strongly in the separation of church and state, as did our founding fathers, as do many members of this body. Mr. Speaker, I cannot and I will not legislate on the basis of my religion. Thank you.
Representative Amato.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I stand in strong support of SCR 1226. Request permission to speak briefly.
So ordered. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Healthcare is a human right, and standing up for fundamental rights in this case to protect and expand healthcare access for all people of any gender, and specifically reaffirming society's protections at the state level, is one of the most important jobs that any of us can do in this sacred hall. As a mother of 3 young women, I support all of SB 1, SD 2, even the controversial age of consent component. I support access to safe and legal abortion for any person in need. I vigorously oppose all efforts to restrict abortion access in any form. Let us not forget how last November, Dr. Caitlin Bernard was charged with a crime by a Republican Attorney General in Indiana for her compassionate act of giving abortion medication to a 10-year-old who was vigorously raped in Ohio. We must make Hawaii a safe haven for all people from anywhere without fear of cross-state prosecution, and we must also protect all of our healthcare providers. Further, if federal funds for clinics or procedures disappear, we must make laws to compensate and protect these institutions. And we must expand access to all islands, not just Oahu and Maui. Such deeply personal and difficult decisions can only be made by a person and their physician. No one has the right to make this decision for someone else. The central premise of Roe v. Wade was that a person has the right to terminate a pregnancy before viability, and also even after viability, if an abortion is necessary to preserve her life or her health. The legal basis of the recent Dobbs versus Jackson decision, dominated by Republican-appointed judges, is highly debated, and with good reason. The Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment to the United States Constitution provides a right to privacy. The Constitution therefore protects a pregnant person's liberty to choose to have an abortion without excessive government knowledge or restriction. We have a sworn duty to uphold that liberty. Thomas Jefferson referred to the First Amendment as creating a wall of separation between church and state. He was very clear. As legislators, we are obligated to have a clean and well-defined barrier between religion and law. In conclusion, I urge support of SB 1 and laws based on sound science and compassion, respect for any person's reproductive rights, and not religious rhetoric in this sacred hall. Moreover, as a Democrat, I ask you to please stand up against the slippery slope of the right-wing radical agenda that seeks to strip people not only of reproductive rights, but also many other fundamental rights. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Recess, please.
Members will be calling a recess. Will the House come to order? Representative Amato.
Mr. Speaker, I request that my words, the radical right-wing Republican agenda, be stricken from my statement, please.
So ordered.
Thank you.
Members, Representative Ward.
No vote, please.
So ordered. Representative Souza.
No vote, please.
Representative Garcia.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In opposition,
proceed.
First of all, just to clarify what separation of church and state was, our founding fathers in our founding document said that these rights are given to us by our Creator, among which are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. First and foremost, this bill is not needed. Here's why. If this bill does not pass, abortion access is not impacted whatsoever here in Hawaii. This bill is simply virtue signaling. Second of all, it's a clear attack on parental rights. Who in their right mind, Mr. Speaker, thinks that it's okay to allow a 14-year-old child to get medical surgical procedures without telling their parents? Currently, you can't be 14 and buy cigarettes, buy alcohol, get a tattoo, or a piercing. But for an abortion, to kill a child in the womb, it's okay? This is ridiculous. It's an attack on parental rights. The phrase was mentioned, healthcare. This is not healthcare. Healthcare is bringing life, saving life. This is ending life. It's not healthcare. No vote.
So ordered. Members, I just want to remind you that this measure is scheduled for a third reading tomorrow, and there will be ample time for further debates. But Representative Kong?
No vote, please. Thank you, Speaker.
Representative Lamasau?
With reservation.
So ordered. Representative Alcos?
No vote.
So ordered. Proceed.
This bill, I understand that it's trying to protect kids' rights. But what about parents' rights? I'm a parent as well. I have kids. I would like to know, and my community would like to know what's happening to their keikis and to their kids and their family in school. This would it wouldn't allow our parents to find out. I would be totally hurt if I didn't know what would happen to my child if she is going through this trauma in her early years. I would like to be there for her, to support her through this trauma, especially at this age. Who else is better than the parent? Who else is better? Is the counselor better? Is the teacher better? Is the doctor better? It should be the parents to raise their kids. And we're taking a lot of the laws away from the parents and not allowing our parents to get involved with our keikis. And for that reason, I'm a no vote. Thank you.
Representative Ganadin,
In support, Mr. Speaker.
proceed.
SD1, SD2 codifies what has been the law of the land here in Hawaii for decades regarding parental consent. I'd like to note the American Academy of Pediatrics, which just said, legislating and mandating parental involvement does not achieve intended benefit of promoting family communication, but it does increase the risk of harm to the adolescent by delaying access to appropriate medical care. Minors should not be compelled or required to involve their parents in their decision to obtain abortions, although they should be encouraged to discuss their pregnancies with their parents and other responsible adults. Mr. Speaker, in support of the 3 healthcare providers that provide abortion services in addition to a variety of other reproductive health services for the community that I represent, I stand in strong support.
Mr. Speaker, with
Representative
reservations.
So ordered. Representative Garcia,
Second time, still in opposition.
proceed.
Thank you. One other point I wanted to mention. The age of consent here in Hawaii is 16 years old. Any intercourse below 16 years old would be considered statutory rape. If this bill passes, we're allowing and aiding in statutory rape. May God have mercy on all our souls.
Right, members. Representative Pyrick,
No, please.
so ordered. Proceed.
I'm going to be sharing several points. The first is the context between separation of church and state. That was a letter written by Thomas Jefferson to a Protestant minister. The Protestant minister had a concern saying, Mr. Jefferson, will there be favoritism for one Protestant denomination over another? He says, no, there's a wall or a separation between church and state, meaning we're not going to favor one over the other. But the liberty to still practice your faith and have that really fuse the legislator is still fine. The last part is commentary. The next point is, where do we get law? I believe we get law from God. He defines what is moral law. In the 10 Commandments, we get thou shalt not kill. If we were to degrade law to just our subjective input, it becomes rather fluid with our culture. Is life precious? According to the psalmist in Psalm 139, verse 13 through 16, it says, for you, this is David talking to God, you formed my inward parts. You knitted me together in my mother's womb. I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works. My soul knows it very well. My frame was not hidden from you, and when I was being made in secret, intricately woven in the depths of the earth, your eyes saw my unformed substance. In your book were written, every one of them, the days that were formed for me, when as yet there was none of them. God knows ahead of time who we are while we're still in the womb and what's going to happen after birth. Speaking again of what God's plan is for that life, it says in Ephesians 2:10, this is Paul talking to the church in Ephesus, for we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. So we see that God has a perspective on life. It is precious. Let's go back to the 10 Commandments. We're not supposed to murder. Leviticus 24, God is explaining to the children of Israel the moral law. He says, whoever takes a human life shall surely be put to death. So God's implementing capital punishment for murder. Let's find out what things God hates. In Proverbs 6, it says, there are 6 things that the Lord hates. 7. that are an abomination to him. Haughty eyes, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood. A baby that's in the womb is innocent. He or she has committed no crimes, so for us to shed that innocent blood, it's not good. The heart starts to beat at about 5.5 to 6 weeks old in the womb. That baby has blood. We're not supposed to shed that innocent blood. Jesus said, "You shall not murder," in Matthew 19, verse 18. James wrote, "Do not murder." Children are a blessing. It says in Psalm 127, verses 3 through 5, "Behold, children are a heritage from the Lord, the fruit of the womb, a reward. Like arrows in the hand of a warrior are the children of one's youth. Blessed is the man who fills his quiver with them. He shall not be put to shame when he speaks with his enemies in the gate." Now, what about the life of the child? Is it determined by social factors? If the family doesn't want it, does life become not as valuable? What if there's not enough funding to support the child? Do we kill the baby in the womb because we can't afford the baby? What if the baby isn't healthy enough? Do we kill the baby because we determined that that health level isn't where we want it to be? Or is life precious even if it has special needs? In the beginning of Exodus, God said, "Who made the deaf, the mute, the seeing, or the blind? Have not I?" God makes people, and if they have a special need, they are still precious and they should not be aborted. I propose we choose life. It says in Deuteronomy 30, verse 19, "I call heaven and earth to witness against you today that I have set before you life and death, blessings and a curse. Therefore choose life that you and your offspring may live." Thank you.
Representative Onishi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In strong support.
Proceed.
Mr. Speaker, as a Buddhist, as the father of 3 daughters, as the grandfather of 4 granddaughters, I fully believe in a woman's right to choose about her body and what she wants to do. This is the way that we were brought up as Buddhists. Every person should be held accountable for their own actions, not somebody telling them what they can or cannot do. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Representative Tam.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, in support.
Proceed.
I just want to have the words of the representative from Haleiwa inserted into the journal as if they're my own, as well as the representative from Hilo inserted into the journal as if they were my own.
So ordered. Representative Lowen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, in strong support. And I'd like to adopt the words of the representative from Hilo minus the part about being a father and grandfather.
So ordered. Representative Kahalawa.
Same request.
So ordered.
Including the grandparent part. Thank you.
Representative Alcos.
Mr. Speaker,
Proceed.
this is,
Your position.
my position is I oppose for the second time.
Proceed.
This is not an adult we're talking about. This is kids, what we're talking about. Till today, I still make mistakes. Our kids still make more mistakes than us. That's a part of life that we live. That's the guidance that we need to give to them. We're taking away that right. This is keikis that we're talking about. They're under 18 years old. That's our kids. What age are you going to come out next? 12, 10, 5? We need to hold our accountability to our parents. If we could stay home and take care of our kids, that would be so awesome instead of somebody else raising our kids. But we don't have that opportunity now. But it is our kids to make that decisions and believing in them to make that choice at this young age. And for fly that bird out of the coop and let them make the right choices at that time. As a parent, Mr. Speaker, I am very concerned, even when they go to college. Now they're older in life, some of them, I'm still concerned, and they're still my kids. But at the age of 18 to 14, I oppose this bill, Mr. Speaker, because of that. Thank you.
Representative Souza.
Still a no vote, second time.
Proceed.
Can you please enter the words of the representative from Kalihi into the record as my own, specifically in regards to parental consent? Thank you.
So ordered. Representative Ganadin.
They're in support, Mr. Speaker, second time.
Proceed.
There have been many Bible verses shared today. I'll share one, a favorite, Matthew 5:29. And if thy right thee offend thee, pluck it out and cast it from thee, for it is profitable that one of thy members should perish, and not that the whole body be cast into hell.
Representative Capella.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In strong support, I am fully aware that we are supposed to save our comments for tomorrow. But as a young woman who has had an abortion, it is so hard to sit on this floor and listen to people try and take away your right to choose what you do with your body so that you can become or do anything you choose in this life. I appreciate the parents on this floor who lead with integrity and who choose to love their children. My question is, what about the parents who are not there for their kids? What about the children who don't have parents in their lives that can lead, support, and honor them? What about the children who have parents who do not respect or sexually abuse their children? Because those children exist. And that is why I'm in strong support of this bill. And I will always fight for my right and for every woman's right, or every person who has a uterus, to choose what they do with their body. And I look forward to further debating this tomorrow.
Representative Morikawa.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, in strong support.
So ordered, proceed.
And I have been there and I've done that, and I would like the words of the previous speaker to be inserted in the journal as if they were my own. Thank you.
So ordered. Members, we'll be taking a voice vote. All those in favor say aye.
Mr. Speaker, can I cast a vote with reservation and a brief comment?
So ordered.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As much as I also have personal beliefs to support some kinds of measures, I have to go and support what my district is asking. But I think what has been brought up today on the floor is very valid. I think about sometimes the folks that don't have homes, and I think about the kids that are looking for parents, and I think some of the concerns were shared were valid. But at this time, I need to register and vote with reservation. Please.
So ordered. Representative Alcos, you already went second time.
Can I go a third?
Point of order.
Your point of order?
Recess.
Recess. Will the House come to order? Members, we are on STANCOM Report 1266. Is there any further discussions? We will be taking a voice vote. So before Representative Kila interrupts me, all those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. The motion is carried. Item 7. Members, are there any announcements? Representative Kong.
Thank you, Speaker. Thanks to the representative from, where is he? St. Louis Heights, somewhere in here. Anyway, we have just completed the 9th annual Bioeconomy Forum. We started yesterday morning through now, and we're going to be sending out the link to the YouTube. And I really request that you take the time to look at what was presented by the presenters. Very mind-boggling, and hopefully we can implement these technologies here in these islands. And so I'll let everybody know and send out the links, and also when it's going to be posted on Olelo. But thank you.
Thank you. Representative Kila?
Mr. Speaker, you know I would never intentionally interrupt you, so my apologies. Please forgive me. If I may be permitted a late introduction.
So ordered.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. They've been introduced in the gallery as a staffer for Representative Matsumoto, but I'd like to I'd like to introduce Malia Augustin actually as a constituent of mine in Nanakuli, and welcome to her to the House of Representatives.
Members, with no further announcements, the chair would like to remind members of today's triple referral filing deadline. For any bills moving from their first committees to their second committees in a triple referral, you must file the committee reports with the Chief Clerk's office by 7 p.m. this evening. Please allow yourselves and your staff sufficient time to file your reports before the deadline. Representative Morikawa for adjournment.
Mr. Speaker, I move that this House stand adjourned until 12 o'clock noon tomorrow.
Representative Garcia.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. The motion is carried. The House stands adjourned until 12 noon tomorrow.